Origin Unexplained.
We are going to switch up topics today and return at a later date to follow up more on installations and stuff. But today we're going to discuss something known as chronovisor. So the chronovisor is said to be a top secret device that allows its users to see through time, specifically to view and hear events from the past, like watching a historical movie play out in real time. It doesn't transport you, it shows you what's already happened. It's a mysterious device said to have been created within the walls of the Vatican. According to reports and eyewitness accounts, this machine could see through time, almost like watching history unfold on a movie screen. It was described as part television, part receiver, capable of tuning into electromagnetic echoes of the past, allowing its operators to observe moments long gone as if they were happening right in front of them. If that sounds like a science fiction story, well, you're not alone. What if the chronovisor wasn't just a myth? What if it was a precursor to something far more advanced like technology that eventually made its way into military hands, becoming the foundation for later time-related experiments conducted right here in the United States? From secret Vatican projects to hidden bases beneath American soil, we're diving into one of the most controversial and fascinating connections in modern history: the link between faith, physics, and time manipulation. The story of the chronovisor first surfaced in the 1960s and 70s, largely due to a man named Father Francois Brun, a respected French Catholic priest and author. He claimed he had first-hand conversations with another priest, an Italian Benedictine monk named Father Pellegrino Ernetti. He was one of the 12 scientists working on a highly classified Vatican project, combining theology, physics, and advanced engineering. And their goal? To build a machine that could view any moment in history, like tuning into a cosmic frequency. Ernetti claimed the team included world-class scientists, including the famous physicist Enrico Fermi, and a Nobel Prize-winning German scientist who remained unnamed. The machine they supposedly built used a complex array of antennas, cathode ray tubes, and materials to pick up residual electromagnetic traces left behind by past events. In other words, they believed every sound, movement, or emotion from the past never fully disappeared. It simply echoed through time. Kind of like residual hauntings, right, guys? Ernetti said the chronovisor could tap into these echoes. He claimed to have seen Roman plays lost to history, watched scenes from Napoleon's life, and most controversially, witnessed the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. A photograph even surfaced in the media, supposedly showing Christ on the cross, but critics quickly pointed out the image looked suspiciously like a statue from a church in Italy. I'm only telling that story because there are others that witnessed this stuff, and said that it happened. But the picture, well, let's get on with it. Still, they didn't stop the story from spreading like wildfire. Later, Ernetti signed a confession before his death, saying he had fabricated parts of the stories, the parts including the photo. But even in that so-called confession, some details remained unexplained. He never fully retracted the existence of the machine, just the evidence that he'd publicly shared. So, Father Brun, to his dying day, insisted the machine was real, and that the Vatican had dismantled and hidden it, fearing the consequences if it fell into the wrong hands. Some even say it's locked away beneath the Vatican in their secret archives. Others believe the technology didn't disappear, it just moved. Maybe into government programs, maybe even reverse engineered for something bigger like Project Looking Glass or time viewing systems rumored in Montauk and DARPA circles. Whether it's legend, disinformation, or buried truth, one thing's certain. The chronovisor story is more than just folklore. It's one of the most fascinating intersections of religion, science, and conspiracy ever told. By the late 1970s, rumors began spreading around Montauk in Long Island, officially closed but strangely active after dark. Residents reported power surges, strange low-frequency hums, and lights glowing beneath the cliffs of Camp Hero. Something was happening underground, something far beyond routine military research. Declassified hints and insider accounts point to a project that blended electromagnetic experimentation with temporal physics. In short, they were trying to manipulate time. What began as radar and frequency research allegedly evolved into a program studying how electromagnetic fields could bend space and time itself, how the right resonant frequency could quite literally distort reality. Within the deepest levels of the base, experiments reportedly moved from observation to direct interaction. This was done using a combination of rotating field generators, massive coils, and frequency harmonics. They attempted to open rifts, which are temporary windows, to other points in time. The data suggested that electromagnetic energy, when tuned precisely, could cause localized distortions and ripples in time. At first, these openings were small, almost microscopic, but then they grew. Objects sent through vanished and reappeared elsewhere or didn't return at all. The scientists began pushing for longer openings, sustained fields, and larger-scale tests. That's when the trouble started. According to several witnesses, the time rifts became unpredictable. Instruments would fluctuate wildly, clocks stopped, some personnel began to experience disorientation, missing hours, or even entire days. Others reported seeing scenes from different eras flash like holograms within the corridors. Figures dressed in old military uniforms, voices speaking in languages no one recognized, and so on. The energy field began creating feedback loops, overlapping timelines that bled into one and another. Electrical storms would erupt within the containment chamber without warning. Walls shimmered like liquid metal. Reality itself seemed to stretch. Eventually, control was lost. One final experiment triggered a massive energy surge that caused the system to collapse, sealing whatever portal they had created and everything that might have came through it. The base was abruptly shut down, sealed, and written off as no longer operational. But those who were there claimed it was anything but an ordinary closure. Afterward, a local fisherman and hikers reported electromagnetic interference, compasses spinning wildly near the cliffs, and a faint hum that still echoes from beneath the ground. The radar tower remains, fenced off and silent, an artifact of something that may have gone far beyond human comprehension. If the chronovisor was the birth of time viewing, Montauk may have been its dark evolution. The point where humanity's curiosity crossed into dangerous territory. The line between science and supernatural blurred, and for a moment, we may have touched the very fabric of time itself and torn it. So when you connect all the threads, it's almost poetic how the story seems to come full circle. The Vatican began with the idea of a machine that could see through time, a moral, almost spiritual pursuit to witness the truth of the past. Then the military stepped in, transforming that concept into a weaponized version, not to witness history, but to control it. From the chronovisor's spiritual lens to Montauk's electromagnetic tunnels, the goal quietly shifted from observation to domination. The Vatican scientists had described time as layered, not gone, just hidden. They believed energy leaves an imprint, that every event in history radiates a faint echo through space. Modern physics doesn't completely dismiss that idea. Quantum field theory suggests that energy and information never truly disappear. They transform. The past, in some sense, may still be vibrating all around us. Fast forward to today, and you'll find that the same principles are being studied under more respectable names. Quantum entanglement, time symmetry, and particle superposition. CERN's Large Hadron Collider, for instance, was built to uncover the building blocks of the universe. But the energies it produces are beyond anything humans have ever controlled before. Theoretically, those collisions bend space-time, even if just for billionths of a second. 2016, physicists at the University of Queensland actually demonstrated a quantum experiment where a photon could exist in two different points in time simultaneously. Yeah, it sounds like sci-fi, but it's peer-reviewed reality. Other teams have explored quantum retrocausality, where the outcome of an event seems to influence its own cause, a concept that eerily echoes the very premises of the chronovisor. That time isn't linear, but fluid. So, maybe the Vatican wasn't dabbling in theology as much as early physics. Maybe their so-called chronovisor was a primitive form of quantum resonance, a machine sensitive enough to read electromagnetic echoes of the past. Perhaps the military took that same foundation and drove it to dangerous extremes at Montauk, trying to force open what should only be observed. Whether these technologies were ever perfected, lost, or still operating under classified programs, one thing is certain. Humanity has never stopped chasing the ability to reach beyond its own moment in time. We started by building machines to see the past. Now, we're building machines that could rewrite the very rules of it. From the silent vaults beneath the Vatican to sealed bunkers of Long Island, the pursuit of temporal power hasn't ended. It's just evolved. The question is no longer whether someone built a chronovisor. The question is, who's using it now? And what are they looking at? Now, I do want to stress that I don't always believe everything that they're saying about Montauk, and I don't even know for a fact if Montauk's really truly connected, but stories have said that they are. I don't know. Do I believe experiments happened at Montauk? Absolutely. That, not sure about if those two are connected, but that's the rumor. As far as those 3 or 4 gentlemen that went on to describe Montauk and the Montauk Boys and stuff like that, do I think some experiments maybe went down? Maybe. Do I believe those men? Absolutely not, because they have contradicted themselves numerous times. So without any further ado, whether the chronovisor was real or not, whether the Vatican locked it away or passed it down. So whether the chronovisor was real or not, whether the Vatican locked it away or passed it down, whether Montauk was a myth or a glimpse into classified science, the question remains, how much do we really know about time? And who's had the power to bend it? Technology doesn't disappear. It evolves. It changes hands. And sometimes it hides in plain sight. This has been another podcast of Origin Unexplained. I am Sue, your host, and if you have a story you would like told, or if you would like to be in a podcast, email us at originunexplained, and that's UNX, not an E in there, PLAINED, @gmail.com.
Origin Unexplained.